Hi and welcome to The Buzz, a show about life here on the Waynesburg campus. I'm Darrion Allensworth, your host for today, and joining me are Riley Holsinger and Tony Grillo. Today you are going to learn about us, how we got here, who has influenced us, how we have grown, and what we have experienced as comm students here at Waynesburg. We will debate about controversial topics, talk about tweets that have caught our attention, and a life reflection. So stay tuned and get ready to learn about the latest buzz. Welcome back to The Buzz. In this segment, we're talking about how we got to Waynesburg and a bit on how we have grown since we have been here. Riley, we'll start with you. How did you get to Waynesburg? How did you find out about it?
Yeah, so it's kind of a little bit of a longer story. I have to go back to when I was a 9-year-old, and when I was 9 years old, I started off by watching ESPN and everything. I kind of strayed away from Cartoon Network, from Nickelodeon pretty early in my life. And I got really hooked on sports and ESPN in general and just football in general. So that was a big part of my life just growing up. And then throughout third and fourth grade and everything, I kind of knew I wanted to get into sports announcing and everything. I'd read off sports highlights from the previous day during or after our morning announcements at school, just in my homeroom class. I thought it was a kind of neat thing to do. Well, over time and everything, I kind of lost sight of what I really wanted to do throughout my career. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do athletic training, wasn't sure if I wanted to be a history teacher, if I wanted to do engineering. And then the light bulb kind of hit on me towards the end of my high school career. But sophomore year of high school, I knew two people that both decided to go to Waynesburg University, and Dan Verhosick and Courtney Seifert. And I'd never heard of Waynesburg University before that point in my life in general. So it kind of put it on the map, but I didn't know that I wanted to go to Waynesburg at that point. And then I ended up getting an invite to Lanny's sports announcing camp the summer before my senior year of college, or of high school, excuse me. But that's when it kind of opened my eyes to Waynesburg. It's okay, sports announcing, that's back on the map again. This seems like it could be something that I could do, and it would be something that I would enjoy to do my whole life. So I ended up checking out the program here at Waynesburg University, and I instantly fell in love with campus when I visited and everything. And I knew it felt like it was going to be a really good fit for me, and it has thus far.
Tony, how about you?
All right, well, my story's not as detailed as Riley's is, but it is a little bit similar. I mean, unlike Riley, I would always focus on children's shows growing up, Bob the Builder, Thomas the Train, Looney Tunes, all that kind of stuff. And it never really did dawn on me that a lot of people were working behind the scenes, voiceover work, like with George Carlin, Ringo Starr, Tom Kenny, so many other people. And for the longest time, I was looking at careers, the characters in those shows were being a builder or an engineer or even a race car driver for a little bit. But now as I started to get older, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to be when I grew up. And there's nothing wrong with that. Well, we always try new things, and that's something I love about the communications field. It's very diverse and flexible. So, and as I started to get older, I really started to enjoy writing. So I thought maybe I could make something with this. I have a lot of ideas for stories, and it's just so many ideas fill my head. It's just, and I still do like doing that. Every once in a while, I'll write down an idea I have for a journal entry and write about my day. And then when I got into high school, I remember one day, one of the ladies who worked in the office asked me if I wanted to do the morning announcements, and I said, yeah, sure. And that's where my whole communications idea, my whole career in communications started to kind of form. I mean, other than that, I really loved theater. I still do. I don't do it now in college because I want to focus more on my studies, my grades, but I used to do it a lot in high school too. So that I also considered that acting, and acting was another big passion I had. And to an extent, I can still do that. Just people won't be watching me. I'll just be behind the scenes and no one can judge me.
I mean, I completely get that. That's understandable.
Yeah, well, I mean, people will still judge me, but I won't get to hear them.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely interesting. I mean, my story is kind of like similar to yours, Riley. I really didn't know like about Waynesburg whenever I was like picking through schools or like deciding. I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do with my like life at all. I mean, I always enjoyed watching sports. I always enjoyed like hearing those guys talk about it. But I found out about Waynesburg through our Ariana Bartholomew, who was a grade higher than me, good friend of mine. Fortunately, she doesn't go here anymore, but she told me about the school, and then when I looked deeper into Waynesburg, like I learned about the comp program, prestigious, obviously. Lanny was definitely a big reason why I chose here. I mean, he was like from the start welcoming. And then I think I for sure like decided that I wanted to come here after I came for the communications scholarship, and I had to do a couple things to like to get it. And I remember having to interview you, Riley. Professor Krause had me interview you as one of my first things I ever did here. And after like just thinking about the questions and learning about you, it was so interesting. And I was like, I think I really want to like delve deeper into this field, like to be able to learn more about people. Because I'm a people person. I do enjoy learning about people, and then I enjoy sports and talking about sports. So like learning about that was just definitely one of the biggest things coming into here. And of course, I was lucky to have a group of friends who were also coming here. Josh Anderson, Jordan Miller. I mean, I grew up with these guys, so having them to come to Waynesburg with definitely one of the main reasons why I came to Waynesburg. That's all we have for this segment. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about controversial topics that we're very passionate about.
We're going to fade up to camera 3 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take it.
Welcome back. To me, when it comes to controversial topics, some can be debatable, while others, there's only one correct answer. We'll start with this topic first. Tony, who is your hero in the DC universe? It's two iconic heroes, Superman or Batman?
Oh gosh, Darrion, those are both great options, but I'm gonna have to go with Batman. I've always loved him as a kid, and to this day I still do, and there's so many great incarnations of him. I think my personal favorite, though, would be the Adam West one.
Yeah, Darrion, you just mentioned that for some of these, there's only one correct option. Tony didn't get that option right. The obvious answer right here is Superman and everything. Partly because Batman, he's just rich. He just has a lot of money to go out and buy whatever he wants.
That's fair.
For his arsenal and everything. Superman is the Man of Steel, from the son of Krypton and everything.
Batman's a great detective.
I think he's probably the most overpowered superhero in general. And you could say Krypton's his weakness and everything. That's perfectly fine, but Krypton's not an easy find except for somebody like Batman. But being that's the only reason that Batman can defeat Superman, I have Superman all the way.
Riley, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're wrong. I mean, Tony was definitely right. Batman is definitely better than Superman.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not just that he has a whole bunch of money that makes him who he is. It's his mind. It's his intellect. I mean, I know
skills too.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I mean, his brilliance. Like, I've always seen this topic, like if you give Batman time to prepare, he can get over any situation, defeat anybody. And I think that falls in the same. it falls in the same category whenever we talk about him versus Superman. You gave him time to prepare. Yeah, he has to find kryptonite, but there's other ways he could beat him without kryptonite.
Yeah, but you're throwing another if in there, right? Now, if he has time to prepare and everything, you might not have that time to prepare, and when it comes down to it, just a straight fight, Superman all the way. Superman would take
Batman only has a minute to prepare.
Well, you never know. What if he jumps him on the street, Tony? You never know. You can't prepare for that. You can, but you'd be really paranoid.
You'd have like a second before.
Yeah.
I mean, you make a fair argument with that, Riley. Well, we'll get to another topic here. Jimmy Neutron or Timmy Turner?
You talk about intellect with Jimmy Neutron. I'll definitely give him that in that department. But I'd probably say my favorite between the two would have to be Timmy Turner and everything from Fairly Odd Parents. Just him, Wanda, and Cosmo. That's like an iconic trio when you just talk about cartoon history.
How about you, Tony?
Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna stray from Riley's. I'm a Jimmy Neutron guy all the way. Not to say that there's nothing wrong with Fairly Odd Parents, though. Though I will. While Cosmo, Wanda, and Timmy are a great trio, I did argue that Jimmy, Carl, and Sheen are as well, and I think they're a bit more relatable to the audience too in some ways because they're all children, not adults that have lived for about millions of years like Cosmo and Wanda have, and there's just something about watching their adventures together. It just takes me back.
I mean that's fair, but I mean I'm gonna have to agree with you on that, Jen. I mean I think Jimmy Neutron, he's a favorite. I mean, it just is the brilliance. I think as a kid, like I was just really, I marveled about like, dang, this kid is like extremely smart. We'll go to another topic here. Tony, we'll go to you this time first. Captain America or Iron Man?
I'm gonna have to go with Captain America, Darrion. I think it's because he's just so iconic, not just in the films, in the comics as well. Like, have either of you read the Civil War comic book? Like, his arc in that is so great.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Tony. I have to go with Captain America as well. This is the first time
Cap all the way.
Yeah, that we've agreed thus far. Pretty much for most of the reasons you said. And also Captain America, I feel like it's a lot more relatable. I feel like I like his character a lot better. Although I will say Iron Man had a great character development from the first film we saw him in until Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, that's true. And I gotta give him something. We're both Tonys, so there's like I remember when Civil War the movie was coming out, and every time I tell someone I'm Team Cap, they go, "But you're a Tony."
I mean, I'm gonna have to go against both of you here. Iron Man is definitely my favorite. I mean, I understand Captain America is more relatable, but I mean, wouldn't it be awesome just being like that, like rich, but also being super smart? Like he earned every like penny with just his intellect, and just being able to like all the suits he created are so cool. I mean, Captain America, he has a shield. I mean, that's cool and all, but... And
the shield was developed by Tony Stark's father.
That's right.
So you have to look at it from that aspect.
It was his dad who made it. But, I mean, Tony Stark all the way for me. I mean, suits he creates are cool. The way he solves the problems. The way... Just the way he goes about, like, how he... Superheroes, basically, I think is really, really cool. We'll go to another topic here. I know a lot of people that would completely disagree on this one. Pineapple on pizza, does it go on it? Riley, we'll go to you.
100% it goes on pizza. It's an obvious decision here. You can get a nice Hawaiian pizza going. You have your pineapple, you have your ham on there. It's such a great combo. I don't understand why people rip on it. You kind of get your sweet and your salty together. It's just a great combo for me. The people who hate on it are just haters. We'll just leave it at that.
How about you, Tony?
You know what? Can I just stay neutral for this? Because Riley, I've never gotten the chance to try a Hawaiian pizza before.
I'll have to get you one, Tony.
All right, you get me an up. I'll try it and tell you what I think.
I'm going to agree with Riley on this. I do believe pineapple does belong on pizza. I mean, Hawaiian pizzas They're extremely good. We'll finish with one last topic: Xbox or PlayStation. Riley or Tony, we'll go with you this time.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to go with Xbox. I had one when I was growing up. I wasn't that much into video games when I was younger, I'll admit, and even to this day, I haven't really been interested in it. But I did have an Xbox 360 when I was younger, and I always remember playing that, and games like Lego Star Wars, and oh gosh, what games did I play? Transformers. That was another good one I liked.
I was a big PlayStation guy growing up. I had the PS1, I had the PS2. The PS2 might have been one of my favorite gaming consoles of all time. But I got to go with the Xbox on this one. The Xbox 360 and the Xbox One definitely redeemed Xbox for me in general. And I've just had so many great memories playing Xbox with my friends. So that's my decision.
No to both of you. PlayStation is definitely the way to go. I mean, I grew up on PlayStation. Grew up with first console really played was the PSP. Then played PS1, PS2, PS3. Then of course now I have the PS4, and I need to get my hands on the PS5. I mean, I know they're still working out the bugs on it, but I mean, I want to play the Spider-Man game on the new PS5 because it looks absolutely amazing.
That's fair.
That's all we have for controversial topics. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about tweets that make us stop and actually think about it, as well as a life reflection.
Here goes Zuzik into the end zone, almost untouched.
The middle, back out to Delaney, 3-ball. How about, yes.
Cuts up inside, into the end zone. Touchdown, Trenton Carter.
Welcome back to The Buzz. For me, there are some tweets that I can scroll through without giving a second thought, but there are some that I have to stop and really think about. Have there been any tweets that have made you guys stop scrolling and actually have to think about it? Riley, we'll start with you.
Yeah, there's one main one for me over this past week. It was from Johnny Manziel, and it says, "We all make mistakes. You either choose to accept them and grow through it as a humble lesson, or wither away in denial as the world passes you by." I think that's a pretty powerful tweet by Johnny Manziel, a guy who in his life he's made a lot of mistakes. Back when he was playing college football and everything, he was a star at Texas A&M, and now look at where he's at now. He's playing Arena League football or whatever, but that's not really important to it. I just think his message was really important to it, about saying to accept your mistakes and to use those as lessons moving forward, because that's something that I've really taken forward to in my life. It's something I've done a lot over not only this past year, but over pretty much every single failure or every single mistake I've had in my life. So I think it's a really important thing to use those mistakes and those failures as lessons for you to move forward.
That's definitely an extremely inspiring tweet, Riley. How about you, Tony? Has there been a tweet that you had to give a second thought about?
Oh well, mine's not as motivational as Riley's is, but it's kind of funny. Just yesterday, actually, I saw a tweet on Twitter about talking about Ryan Reynolds, saying that he's going to do something he's never done. Actually watch Green Lantern before the Snyder Cut's released.
I don't know, Tony. I think that might be a more serious tweet than mine.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Seriously. For me, it's not just one tweet. It was more of a series of tweets about there's been hate crimes toward Asian Americans and as well as Pacific Islanders. I mean, for me, I am Asian American, and I find that type of stuff, like hate towards a specific race or just the way that people live, to be unacceptable, and it's not just straight up not cool. I mean, come on. I mean, we all live our lives our own different unique ways, and I don't think there's really problems with that. So definitely the tweets that are I definitely stop and think about those tweets that are inspiring towards stopping those type of hateful crimes or comments or tweets on stuff like that. Next, we'll talk about life reflections, kind of digging deep here. If there was something you guys could tell yourselves, like a younger version of you guys, what would you tell them? Riley, we'll go with you.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. People that know me, they know I kind of live a positive lifestyle and everything. I think that might be one of the things that I'd tell my younger self, is to kind of live that lifestyle earlier in your life, because that wasn't really something I picked up on until after, I'd say, the first semester of my freshman year of college. So keeping that positive mindset is probably one thing. I'd also tell my younger self to keep working hard, because all of that hard work will pay off in some way and in some day. And then I will definitely say, don't critique yourself as hard, because that's kind of a trend I get into. I kind of have a perfectionist mindset and everything. I try to make sure everything's to the top notch of my ability. And not every single time I could do that. I make a lot of mistakes throughout my life, as I talked about in my tweet and everything. But to use those mistakes as lessons for me moving forward is a big thing. And then I'd say one last thing that I'd tell my earlier self is to invest in Bitcoin whenever it was really low in money. That way I'd be rich right now, but obviously that can't happen.
That's a good one.
That's completely understandable, Riley. I definitely get that. How about, what would you tell a young Tony?
Oh gosh, young Tony. What would I tell him? You know what? Honestly, don't be afraid to ask for help. I mean, I remember when I was younger, I always tried to do things independently or by myself, and just getting frustrated and not knowing what to do. I try and work through it myself, and sometimes it would work, sometimes it would, but it never hurts to ask for help.
I completely get that, Tony. I mean, for me, I would definitely tell myself to just keep working hard, and it's all going to be worth it someday. Unfortunately, that's all the buzz we have for you today. So from all of us here at WCTV, we hope you have a wonderful day. Until next time.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.